You know the scene. Summer, the heat is on, everyone heads to the water, and you start inventing 1,000 reasons not to go. Or you go, but you spend the whole day wrapped in a sarong down to your ankles, bundled up as if you were cold in the middle of a heat wave. And it all comes down to one thought: which swimsuit will actually make me look and feel my best at this age? Well, today I want to give you a real answer to that. Because it isn't about your tummy, and it isn't about your age. It's about which swimsuit you choose. Hello, and welcome to the Silver Wardrobe. Today's topic is a personal one, and a very useful one. How to pick a swimsuit after 50 that keeps your middle smooth, makes your figure look slimmer, and leaves you looking younger and completely at ease. With confidence, without hiding under a sarong all day, and without that quiet argument with your own reflection. First, a quick question, and answer in one word in the comments. Do you actually go down to the water in summer? Yes or no? Just yes or no. I'm genuinely curious, because I suspect half of you have been swimming only in your daydreams. And right at the end, there's a 30-second test in front of the mirror that honestly tells you whether a swimsuit is right for you or not. Don't miss it, because without it, everything else only works halfway. Let me start with the main thing, and here I am firm. What ages you and adds weight by the water is not your tummy. It's the wrong swimsuit. That old one you bought years ago, stretched out, faded, with underwires that dig in and a tie behind the neck that drags everything down. You put it on, you look in the mirror, you flinch, and you decide the problem is you. But the problem is a piece of fabric, and I don't say that just to comfort you. I've seen it 100 times. The same woman in a bad swimsuit looks tired and heavy, and in the right one, she looks lifted and alive. Same body. The only thing that changed was the swimsuit. You're probably thinking right now, sure, easy to say, I just need to lose weight. And no, you don't. You need to pick a cut that works for you instead of against you. And that's exactly what we're going to do, step by step, from cut to color. So you walk into the store knowing exactly what to take off the rack and what to put right back. The first cut, and for a smooth middle it's the king, is a one-piece with ruching across the tummy. Not smooth and clinging, but with soft folds gathered across or on a diagonal through the center. Those folds are a brilliant thing. The fabric falls loosely. It doesn't trace every curve, and the middle simply reads as even and smooth. Next, the neckline. Go for a deep V-neck in front. It lengthens the neck, opens up the décolletage, and pulls the eye up toward your face instead of your waist. It's the same trick we talked about in the video on blouse necklines. The right neckline works harder than makeup. And the third thing in this cut is the straps. Not thin little strings, and please, no tie behind the neck, but proper wide straps over the shoulder. They support the bust, they don't dig in, and they don't age you. A one-piece with ruching, a deep neckline, and wide straps is the foundation that flatters almost everyone over 50. If this is the only thing you remember from the whole video, your time was well spent. Moving on, color. And this surprises a lot of women. The most slimming and, at the same time, the most expensive-looking swimsuit is a solid one, in a deep, rich shade. Ink blue, emerald, aubergine, charcoal, wine, warm terracotta. One color, no print, no shiny panels. A solid fabric doesn't chop up the figure. It reads as one clean vertical line, and instantly makes the silhouette look more pulled together. Black is lovely too, of course, but it isn't the only option, and a deep plum or ink looks richer and softer against the face. And what would I steer you away from? Neon shades, harsh pink, screaming turquoise. They feel summery and cheerful, but in reality, they harden the face and cheapen the whole look. And separately, tiny sequins and glitter all over the swimsuit. That's not elegance. That's a 1990s dance floor. One deep color looks richer than 10 bright ones. I won't even explain this one. Just hold a navy and a neon pink up to yourself one after the other and look. You'll see it for yourself. But color isn't only about looking slimmer. It's also about your face. So a few words on choosing your shade. A simple rule. Step up to the mirror in daylight and hold the swimsuit up to your face, not your tummy. If your face looks brighter, the fine lines soften, your eyes come alive, that's your color. If your face goes gray and tired, it's not your color, no matter how lovely it looked on the rack. Broadly speaking, women with a warm golden skin tone are flattered by warm deep colors: emerald, bottle green, terracotta, cognac, mustard. Women with a cool pinkish tone suit cool ones: ink blue, aubergine, raspberry wine, charcoal. Gray-haired women and blondes especially suit deep, cool tones, which bring out the richness of the hair. But the mirror and daylight rule matters more than any chart. Your face will tell you itself. Your body you'll cover with the cut, but your face is right out in the open by the water, and it's the color next to it that works for you or against you. Since we're on prints, not every pattern is the enemy, but you have to choose with care. What works for you? A large, calm, low-contrast pattern. Big, soft flowers, tone-on-tone, for example, or a quiet abstract in close shades. Something large and muted draws the eye away from the details and looks expensive. What works against you? A small, busy print, and above all, horizontal stripes. Small, busy prints flicker and chop the figure into pieces, and horizontal lines widen you exactly where you don't want it. A vertical stripe is another matter. It lengthens you, and that one you can wear. Just remember, large and calm, yes. Small and high contrast, no. And one more trick with prints. If a swimsuit has dark panels along the sides of the tummy and waist, with the pattern only in the center front, grab it without a second thought. Those dark sides work like a corset. They visually shave inches off the waist. High street brands make these every season, and they cost about the same as 2 coffees out. And now my personal favorite, and here I won't even try to be objective, the high-waisted two-piece. That retro 1950s style, where the bottom isn't a narrow little brief, but high-rise bottoms that come up to the navel or a touch above. I adore this cut, and here's why. The high waist gently supports the tummy, keeps it smooth and tucked, and at the same time highlights the narrowest part, the waist, just under the ribs. On top, a bra with wide straps or a light underwire for support, and you get an incredibly feminine, elegant silhouette, like the women on those old postcards. And here's what matters. A high waist flatters fuller women and slim women alike, and it doesn't require a flat tummy at all. On the contrary, it was designed for exactly this. So many women are afraid of a two-piece after 50. They think a two-piece is only for 20-year-olds with abs. Nonsense. A high-waisted two-piece is just about the most age-friendly cut there is. Try it once and you'll fall in love. But let's say a two-piece still makes you uneasy, and a one-piece feels hot and awkward for a quick trip to the restroom. Forgive the everyday detail. Then there's a wonderful compromise. The tankini. That's when the top is like a long tank or a fitted tee that covers the tummy down to the hips, with a separate bottom. You get a covered middle and the convenience of a two-piece. A tankini with a slightly gathered hem on the top is a real find. The fabric drapes. It doesn't cling. It doesn't give the middle away. Take a top that isn't skin-tight, but isn't a tent either. It should just graze the body and end at the narrowest point of the hip. A top that's too long, down to mid-thigh, will actually shorten your legs and make you look stockier. It's like a tunic. Covering a little is good, wrapping up is bad. The tankini often gets an unfair reputation as a grandmother's option. In truth, in a good tankini in a deep color, you look pulled together and calm, not bundled up. Again, it all comes down to cut and color, not the type itself. And since we've gone through the cuts, let's quickly tie them to your figure, because general rules are one thing and your particular shape is another. If you're an apple, meaning most of the volume is in the middle, the tummy and waist, with slim legs, your hero is the one-piece with ruching down the center and the high waist on a two-piece. And by all means, show more leg, they're your trump card. If you're a pear, hips wider than shoulders, put the accent up top. A bright or light bra, an interesting neckline, straps with a detail, and keep the bottom smooth, dark, simple. It balances the hips. If you're an hourglass, waist well-defined, almost everything suits you. Just don't hide that waist under a shapeless tent. On the contrary, emphasize it with a high rise or a belt. And if you're a rectangle, shoulders, waist, and hips about equal, your job is to create a waist. Look for swimsuits with gathering, a belt, side cutouts, diagonal ruching. You see, there's no single right swimsuit for everyone. There's the right swimsuit for your figure. So don't be discouraged if a style that suits your friend didn't sit right on you. It's not that something's wrong with you. It's just not your cut. Somewhere on a rack your swimsuit is hanging. You just have to find it. And now you know what to look for. And a couple more details of the cut that make you look younger, and hardly anyone talks about them. First, an open back. A woman's back changes much more slowly than her tummy, and a beautiful cut at the back is elegant, feminine, and not the least bit daring. A one-piece with a smooth back and a soft opening looks expensive and youthful. Try it. You'll surprise yourself. Second, cutouts at the sides of the waist. Not on the tummy, but right at the sides, at the narrowest point. Small shaped cutouts there visually carve out the waist and give the swimsuit some character, while the tummy stays covered. Third, the diagonal. Any diagonal line, ruching on a slant, an asymmetric strap, a diagonal pattern, slims you better than a straight horizontal, because the eye travels along the diagonal and the figure lengthens. Remember these three little things: back, side, diagonal, and you'll choose a swimsuit like a stylist, not by guesswork. Now, especially for those who worry less about the tummy and more about the hips and the tops of the legs, there's a lovely solution, unfairly forgotten: the swimsuit with a little skirt. Let me be clear right away, not all skirts are equal. A bad skirt is that short, stiff ruffle that sticks out like a bell and adds volume exactly where you don't want it. A good skirt is soft, flowing, lightly gathered. It doesn't stick out but drapes, covers the top of the hip and flows smoothly into the line of the leg. In one of those, you soften the hips and look playful, French almost, rather than dowdy. An alternative to the skirt is boy short bottoms with a slightly longer edge, or briefs with a high rise and gathering at the sides. The main rule for the hips is the same as for the tummy: not skin tight and not a tent, but soft, flowing fabric that touches the body without tracing every line. And a dark bottom with any top, dark always slims the lower half. Now, as promised, let's talk separately about what's best avoided by the water, whatever the advertising tells you. First, the tie behind the neck, the halter. It pulls the shoulders forward, pinches the neck, and literally hangs 10 years on you. And by the end of the day, the back of your head aches from it. Wide straps over the shoulder beat it on every count. Second, cheap, thin, shiny fabric. It doesn't hold its shape, it goes see-through, it gives away every curve and fades in a single season. A swimsuit is one of those things where dense fabric really matters, and we'll come back to that. Third, a bottom that's too skimpy and narrow on a two-piece. Those thin little strings at the sides, they dig in, and instead of elegance, you get discomfort. The bottom should rest calmly on the hip, not saw into it. And fourth, this one is not about the swimsuit, but about a habit: the sarong down to your ankles that you wrap yourself in all day long. A light sarong as an accent for 5 minutes is lovely. A sarong as a spacesuit you hide inside for 8 hours in the heat, that is what truly ages you. Not the body, the fear. And if this kind of breakdown works for you, calm, to the point, no scolding, stay with the silver wardrobe. We have one clear topic every single day. Now back to fabric, because it truly matters more than it seems. A good swimsuit is built on dense, elastic material with a high spandex content. Take the swimsuit in your hands and stretch it. Quality fabric stretches and springs right back. Dense, matte, or with a soft, refined sheen. Cheap fabric is thin, goes see-through in the light, and stays stretched out. The price difference isn't huge. A decent swimsuit costs about as much as 2 or 3 coffees with a pastry, and it doesn't last one season but several years, holding both your middle and its shape the whole time. One good swimsuit is a better deal than 3 cheap ones that give up by August. Don't cut corners on fabric. This is exactly the case where it counts. And here's a detail almost everyone misses, and that's a shame, because it decides half the outcome: bust support. After 50, the bust changes. It lowers. That's normal. It's simply change, not a catastrophe. But if the swimsuit doesn't support it, the whole silhouette drifts downward and instantly adds years. What you need: a bra with a molded cup or a soft underwire with real support, not 2 little scraps on an elastic. A lifted, tidy bust shortens the torso, opens up the waist, and takes years off in an instant. Exactly like the right foundation garments under a dress. And we made a whole video about that. And the second thing, about fit. Don't buy a swimsuit skin tight, a size down, hoping it'll somehow cinch you in. It won't. It'll only press in with rolls and highlight everything you don't want. Take your size, the one where the fabric lies smooth and calm. A swimsuit should hug you, not squeeze you. Try it on, raise your arms, bend over, take a few steps. Nothing cuts in, nothing slips. The bust stays put. That's your size. And let's talk about the whole look, because the swimsuit isn't the entire beach. The right companions to a swimsuit turn you from a lady by the water into a woman it's a pleasure to look at. And first of all, a pleasure for yourself. A sarong, yes, I scolded, the spacesuit sarong, but a light sarong as an accessory, knotted at the hip to one side, is beautiful and stylish. It doesn't hide you, it adds softness to the look. Then a beach shirt or a cotton or linen tunic thrown on top, one you'd feel good walking to a seaside cafe in, ordering a coffee, sitting a while. A wide-brimmed straw hat, it saves you from the sun and instantly makes the look resort-ready and expensive. And a face in the shade always looks younger. Light woven sandals instead of rubber flip-flops, and a big beach bag in straw or fabric. Put this together once at home, like a capsule, tuck it into a separate beach bag, and every trip to the water will feel pulled together, no stress. You'll be surprised how the feeling changes when you're not just in a swimsuit, but in a thought-out beach look. Your back straightens on its own. And since we mentioned the hat and the shade, let me say a word about skin, because by the water it matters to the look just as much as the swimsuit. It used to be thought that a tan made you look younger and prettier. Today we know more precisely. An even, light tone may freshen you up, but skin that's burned and dried out by the sun does the opposite. It adds years, because the sun is the main driver of skin change. So sunscreen on your face, neck, and décolletage isn't fussiness. It's an investment in how you'll look a year from now and 5 years from now. The décolletage, by the way, gives away age no less than the hands, and it's right on show by the water. Put on protection, put on the hat, sit in the shade during the harshest hours, from noon to 4, and your skin will thank you. And one more thing, drink water. In the heat, skin gets dehydrated and dull. Simple things, but by the water, your face depends on them more than on any swimsuit. Let's set the cuts aside for a minute and talk honestly. Where did this idea even come from? That after 50 or after 60, you're supposed to cover your body away from other people's eyes? Who decided that? You've worked your whole life, raised children, carried this body through everything, and now you're supposed to be shy of it on a beach where you came to rest? I disagree, completely. The water, the sun, the warm sand, they aren't a privilege of 20-year-olds off a glossy cover. They are yours just as much. And you know what I've noticed? Nobody on the beach is studying your tummy. Everyone's busy with themselves and their own tummies. That young mother is chasing her child. That man is sucking in his own belly. That girl is worrying about her skin. Nobody's paying you any attention, in the best possible way. The only person staring at your tummy all day long is you, in the reflection. So stop. Put on a swimsuit you feel calm in, and go down to the water. Let me tell you about Susan. She's 58, and for 12 years, she didn't go into the sea. 12. She traveled south with her family every summer and, all those years, sat on the shore in a long tunic, guarding the bags while everyone else swam. She was self-conscious about her tummy after 2 children and an operation, and last summer her daughter quietly bought her a one-piece, deep emerald, with ruching over the tummy and a beautiful neckline, just slipped it into the suitcase. Susan tells it like this. She put it on in the room, looked at herself, and couldn't believe it. The tummy seemed to vanish, and she even looked a bit slimmer. On the first day, she still walked to the water in a sarong. She dropped it right at the water's edge, quickly, before anyone could see. She went in. And then, she says, she cried right there in the water, over all the years she'd lost on the shore because of a piece of fabric and her own fear. Now she has 3 swimsuits and not one long tunic. 12 years, because of the wrong swimsuit. And now the test I promised, right at the mirror in 30 seconds. Put on the swimsuit, stand up straight in daylight, and ask yourself 3 short questions. First, where does my eye go in the first second? To my face or straight to my tummy? If it goes to your face, the neckline, the bust, the swimsuit is working. It pulls the eye up. If your eye lands on the middle, the cut isn't yours. Second, does the fabric lie smooth or does it cut in somewhere, bulge into rolls, slip? It should lie smooth. Third, the most honest one. Do I feel calm in this, or do I want to wrap up right away? Calm, we take it. Want to cover up? Back on the rack. It's not the one. Where to look for all this? High street stores? The dedicated beachwear shops? The ones with fitting rooms and larger sizes? Try on plenty. Don't get attached to the size on the label. It's different everywhere. Don't look for your size by the tag. Look for the swimsuit that made you smile in the mirror. And one last thing, small but important. So a good swimsuit serves you for several years and not a single season. A swimsuit doesn't like 3 things: hot water, wringing, and the sun while it dries. After the sea or the pool, always rinse it in cool, clean water. Salt and chlorine eat away at the fabric and the spandex from the inside. Don't twist it, don't wring it into a rope, just blot it with a towel and let it drip. Dry it in the shade, not in the blazing sun, and not on a radiator. The heat robs the fabric of its stretch and shape. And don't sit for ages in a wet swimsuit on hot concrete or a lounger. The rough surface wears the fabric thin. It sounds like little things, but it's exactly these that sometimes kill an expensive swimsuit in one summer, while a cheap one, well cared for, lasts 3 years. You bought a good one, take care of it, and it'll repay you with more than one summer by the water. And the most practical part, for the very first time. Let's say you've picked the perfect swimsuit, and the fear still holds you back. Then a little trick about how to carry yourself. 90% of the impression isn't the tummy, it's your posture. Roll your shoulders back and down, lengthen your neck, lift your chin a touch. In that pose, any tummy tucks itself in, and you instantly look younger and more confident. It's been proven. A slouching woman with perfect abs loses to an upright woman with a soft tummy, every time. Then, about the water. You don't have to parade across the whole beach. Set your things down closer to the water, walk over calmly, no dash, and go in. In the water, you can't see anything anyway, and there it becomes easy right away. The first time is the hardest. After that, the body remembers how this feels and wonders why you denied it for so many years. Push through once, and the habit of covering up will fall away on its own. And you know what I've come to understand over all these years? The sea doesn't check your passport. The wave doesn't care how old you are, how much you weigh, or what's going on with your tummy. The water is just as warm for a young girl as for a woman of 65, and the only one keeping you from it is you and an unfortunate swimsuit in the closet. Well, the swimsuit we fixed today. What's left is the simplest and the hardest thing, to walk down to the water. Not in the next life, once you've lost the weight, not someday later. This summer. In the right swimsuit, with a straight back, past everyone who supposedly has an opinion about you. They don't. But the sea does, and it's yours. If you've read this far, thank you for being here. Subscribe to the Silver Wardrobe, new breakdowns every day. And this summer, be sure to step into the water, at least up to your knees. Take good care of yourself.